Hello and welcome to your YIN Yoga class. Today we're focusing on cramps and lower back pain. So whether that is from period or menstruation pain, or you're just having some digestive issues with cramps, or if you're just feeling some lower back pain, then this routine is here to help you out and help to alleviate some of that discomfort. You don't need any props for this routine, but it can be a nice idea to have some cushions or pillows nearby, just in case you do want to use them throughout your practice. We're going to start today in Sphinx pose, so you can come to lie on the front of your body. When you're there, you can have your feet about mat width distance apart or whatever feels most natural for you. Then bring your forearms to the mat in front of you. Measure the distance between your elbows by just clasping opposite elbows and then try to keep them at that distance apart. Forearms can come back to the mat and you can spread your fingers nice and wide apart. Now already you might be feeling that compression within your lower back. If it feels too intense, you can always slide your elbows a little bit further away from you. Now we're going to stay here in Sphinx pose for 3 minutes, but if that feels like it's too long for you, please feel free to come out of the pose earlier. That's absolutely okay. Now you can always gaze down towards your mat, or you can look directly out in front. And once you have found a way in which you can sustain the pose, something that you can settle into, just try to find your stillness. Connect to your breath. And as you breathe in, just feel your belly spilling across the mat. And as you breathe out, you're letting go of any tension or cramping that you're feeling there. Keep breathing in to feed your belly and then exhaling to let something go. And if you haven't already, you might start to bring a little bit of awareness into your lower back, feeling that compression. This is a really nice way to bring fresh energy to your lower back. Once we release the pose, you should feel a big gush of energy traveling through your lower back, helping to flush out any pain or tension. So let's send our next few breaths to the lower back. And taking our last 3 deep breaths here. When you're ready to release Sphinx pose, you can slowly come down to lie entirely on the front of the body. Make a pillow with your hands and then stack either a cheek or your forehead onto your pillow. And then bring your big toes together. Let your heels drop out towards the edges of the mat. And here we've come into crocodile pose. We're just going to rest here for 1 minute. Connect to your breath again And just allow your body to process the pose that we've done. Now when you're ready, you can start to slowly pull yourself back up, coming to sit on your knees if you can. Now we're going to come into child's pose. This is another really nice pose to stretch your lower back, and it's also compressing all of those digestive organs, so it can be quite nice to help with cramping. Because we are targeting the lower back, we'll keep the knees as close to each other as you can. And if you find it hard to sit on your heels, you can sit on a cushion or a yoga block. And then we'll bring our forehead back down towards the mat. If it doesn't make it there, you can put your hands in underneath. And if you're not using your hands, they can come to rest next to your feet with your palms facing up. And we're going to spend 3 minutes here in child's pose. But again, if you do need to come out earlier, that is okay. Once you feel settled, bring your awareness again down into your belly region. As you breathe in, feel your belly expand. And as you breathe out, feel it releasing tension. Also starting to feel that expansion throughout the lower back as you breathe in, helping it to stretch and open up. And as you breathe out, it's letting go of pain, letting go of tension. And try your best to keep both your breath and your awareness within your belly region and your lower back for the last few minutes here in child's pose. And just checking in, making sure the jaw is loose, the face is soft. We'll take 3 more breaths here in child's pose. And when you're ready to come up, you can slowly push the ground away from you, coming to sit whatever way is most comfortable for you on your mat. And just taking a few breaths here, allowing the body to process child's pose. And when you're ready, we'll make our way into our next yin pose, which is folded butterfly. So you can sit on the mat or on a cushion or yoga block, bringing your feet in front of you. And then you can have the soles of your feet together. And we're just letting the knees be. You don't have to force them down here. If this feels very tight, you can always slide your feet further away from you to make this pose less intense. And we'll just stay here for a moment with our spine nice and long. Just bringing the awareness down into the hips and the pelvis. Maybe breathing in to feel your belly expand. Breathing out, noticing it deflating. And from here, if it's comfortable for you to do so, you can start to fold forward, allowing your spine to round as you drop your head down. Now imagine that you're trying to touch your nose to your feet, but of course it doesn't have to be anywhere close. Tapping into all of the sensations you feel, using your breath to amplify those sensations. Keeping your awareness within your belly, within your lower back. Keep sending your breath into those regions. We'll be here for 3 minutes in total. And it's normal in these poses for your mind to drift away, for you to start engaging with thought. And if that's happening, just come back to your breath. Focus on taking big, nourishing breaths in and really smooth breaths out. Really helping your body here to recover from any pain it's feeling. Helping it to open up and get rid of any cramping or tension. So just keep your awareness with your breath as best you can. Your breath and the yoga pose will do all of the hard work. We'll take 3 more big breaths in and out. And then slowly returning back up to a straight spine when you're ready. And the knees can come back towards each other, We'll keep the feet about hip width or mat width distance apart, and then you can lean back on your hands and slowly start to drop your knees from side to side. And we'll just do a few windshield wipers, just getting rid of any tension accumulated within your hips or your lower back. And if it feels nice just to pause at one point, please feel free to do that. Now next up we're going to come into a yogi squat, another really nice pose to target the lower back, and it can be very helpful with cramping in the belly region. So if you do need a little bit of support in squat pose, you can always have yoga blocks or cushions in underneath, just acting like a little chair. Or if squat pose is not accessible for you today, you can come back into a wide leg child's pose. So if you are coming into squat, we're going to bring our feet to the mat. They might be about mat width distance apart, and you can have your toes pointed away from you. Now it's very normal for the heels to be up off the ground, so if that's happening, don't worry. You can always fold your yoga mat to create a little bit of padding for your heels and just to bridge that distance if needed. And then we're bringing our elbows to the inside of the knees, palms gently come together. We want to keep our spine as straight as we can here, so try to resist that temptation to round forward. Chest is open. And then you might start to gently press your elbows against your knees, opening up the hips a little bit more. Now we're going to stay here for 2 minutes if we can, and if not, that's okay. Once you feel settled, just try to commit to the stillness of this pose. Just accepting every sensation that you feel, as long as you're not feeling any pain. And then find your breath. Notice how deep you can get your breath into your belly here. Notice that soothing, stretching sensation with your lower back as you breathe in. And as you exhale, you're letting go of tension. And just a few more breaths here in squat if you can. You're doing really well. Keep your awareness with your breath and with your body. Now from squat, we're going to come straight into dangling pose. So you can slowly start to lean forward, maybe bringing your hands back to the mat. And you can take your time getting there, but eventually you're going to straighten out your legs. Bring your feet to about mat width distance apart, and keep a bend in your knees here. Your knees can be bent as much as they need to. Now allow your spine to fold over your legs. Come to hold opposite elbows. And your elbows can either hang, or if you want a little bit more support here, you can let your elbows rest onto your thighs. Feel free to figure out whatever works best for you. And once you have found something, try to commit to the stillness here. We'll be here for 2 minutes in total. Dangling is a really nice pose to stretch and lengthen your entire spine, helping to open up the lower back. You're also opening your hamstrings here, which can help a lot with back pain and especially lower back pain. And not only that, we're also compressing our internal organs once again, helping them to work through whatever cramping or pain is going on there. So let's find our breath. Each inhale expands every part of the body, and each exhale helps you to sink a little deeper into the pose. Before we move out of dangling, just checking in that your jaw is relaxed, your face is soft, your shoulders are soft. Take 3 more breaths here in this pose. And now to come out of the pose, you can bring your fingers back to the mat. Take a nice generous bend into your knees. And then come to sit whatever way is most comfortable for you. And we'll take a moment here just to let everything flow back down. Feel whatever you're feeling. And just notice the effects of the pose. Now we're going to do one more pose before we come into our final corpse position, which is Reclined Twist. So we'll be doing this for 2 minutes on each side. Reclined Twist really targets all this mid region, so it's a great pose for stomach cramps and the lower back. So to come into the pose, you can come to lie down on your back. Taking your time to get there. Once you are there, you might just give yourself a moment lying on the floor. Feeling the ground beneath you and just letting it support you in whatever way it can. Now you can send your left leg long onto the mat and bring the sole of your right foot up onto your left thigh. Left hand comes to hold this top knee and the right arm reaches up. Now stack your hips on top of each other so your right hip is over your left, and then bring your right arm back down to the right at a 90-degree angle to your body. We want to keep both of our shoulders connected to the ground here. And if you want to go a little bit deeper, you can look over towards your right hand. Now here in this reclined twist, you might be able to go a little bit deeper by gently pulling your right knee down towards the left side of the mat. But always just patiently waiting to get those invites from your body to go that bit deeper. And connect to your breath. Send it down into your belly, throughout your lower back. And all you have to do is keep your awareness with your breath. Keep it in those regions that we're targeting today. And then the pose will do the rest of the work. And we're taking 3 more breaths here in reclined twist. And now you can slowly come back to center. Maybe just lying on your back for a moment in the middle. And when you're ready, we'll come to the opposite side, bringing the left foot onto the right thigh. Right hand holds the top knee, left arm reaches up. And stack your hips so your left hip is on top this time. Bring the left arm back down to the left. Keep both shoulders connected to the mat. And if you want to go deeper, you can look to the left. And take 3 more breaths here. Take 3 more breaths here. And now you can slowly start to come back to center. And you might just lie on the floor, allowing your body to digest all of the poses. Or for one last little release, you can bring your knees towards your chest, wrap your arms around your legs. Don't cross your ankles here, and just give yourself a nice little hug. Inhaling to press the belly against the legs. Exhaling to squeeze a little bit tighter. And we'll be here for 1 minute. You can release your body however you feel called to do here, or you can just take this time to rest. Now wherever you are, you can find corpse pose, either by taking your legs long onto the yoga mat, or you can bend your knees and let your knees rest against each other. Arms are out wide with the palms facing up. Body taking up as much space as it needs. And the chin is slightly tucked towards the chest. Jaw is loose. Facial muscles are soft. Shoulders are relaxed. And the entire body is growing heavier and heavier, becoming more and more relaxed and at ease with every breath that you take. And we'll stay here for the next 2 minutes. If you're ready to come out of corpse pose, you can make some small movement. And there's no rush to do so, but when you are ready, you can slowly come back to a seat. And when you're there, you might just close your eyes or soften your gaze. take a moment to find your breath and just feel yourself breathing in and feel yourself breathing out. And take a moment here just to thank yourself for showing up and for doing this practice. And when you're ready, you can open up your eyes again. And we'll officially end this practice here. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you found this routine beneficial. I'd love to hear your experience with it, so please feel free to leave a comment below. And if you did enjoy this video, please leave it a thumbs up. Make sure you are subscribed to my channel because I have lots of routines just like this that focus on stretching, relaxing, and just slowing down. So if that's what you like to do, then make sure that you are subscribed so we can practice again in the future. So I'll see you again soon. Until then, take good care and goodbye.